How's it, guys? I know I said I was going to be on ENCA just now, but it's not my fault or their fault. Robert Mugabe was brought back to Zim today, and he just had to choose my time to do it. I'm not saying he did it on purpose, but...
Thank you so much. Lesego Tlabi, better known by her friends as Coconut Kelz. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you for having me.
And we must just say the reason why we've asked you to join us, not just because we wanted to ask you some very important advice, is because you've taken this alter ego that's taken the internet and social media by storm, and you've compiled a book.
Yes,
now, we can't say the full title on air, but it says Coconut Kelz Guide to Surviving a Hole, which of course is the nickname that Donald Trump, the president of the US, has given us. Why a book?
Because I was approached to do one. I didn't actually have like my sights set on a book when I did this character, but you know, if someone asks you to write a book, you're going to write a book. So that's what happened.
And was it a fun experience for you?
It was. I mean, I write for a living, so it comes easy to me. And obviously writing as this character is super fun. It was like a 6-month process, so I didn't do it every single day. But yeah, I mean, I love writing, so.
Was there some stuff that you had to leave out, that was just too ridiculous even for you?
Not really. It's just that because of the time when it came out versus the time I was writing, we had to do some editing because it was like dated. But there's nothing too ridiculous. I mean, I've said it all. Yeah. So.
Now, this is the first time you've come back to ENCA. The first time you were on ENCA, you were interviewed by my colleague Jane Dutton, and I think that is the video that really brought Coconut Kelz to many people's attention. Were you shocked by that reaction? Because I remember going online and seeing this reaction, and there were actually people trying to explain to others what satire actually means.
I wasn't okay. I was shocked by the reaction and also maybe by the amount of people, because it actually wasn't my first interview with Jane. I'd done one maybe a month before that, and that didn't really pick up any traction. So I was just surprised by the fact that people were seeing it for the first time and were so angry. And I was like, well, I've been here before, so I don't understand why now this one is picking up. And why people are not getting that it's a joke, because I always try to be as ridiculous as possible. I mentioned I have a helicopter. I was just like, if anyone at Wits has seen a helicopter, you know, then it's believable. But if you haven't, then why is this the part that also is making people so angry? But yeah, it was fun. Obviously, numbers is numbers. So, and people are slowly getting it one by one. And those who don't are part of my joke now, so it's okay.
We hear comedians saying all the time that South Africa is one of the best places to do comedy, just because of the way, especially our generation, has been brought up with just such a huge variety of influences, international comedy, the television that we've watched. And yet, like you said, when Coconut Kelz started to gain traction and more people were seeing it, they weren't quite sure how to react it. Why do you think that is, that distinction between going to watch comedy or watching something funny on television? Is it because Coconut Kelz maybe hits a bit too close to home for some people?
I mean, definitely, there are people exactly like Coconut Kelz. I mean, you know, something like Tani Evita, she is a man dressed as a woman, so people can see the distinction immediately.
But Tani Evita also made some people feel uncomfortable.
For sure, because she was telling the truth. So there's some truth and there's some very falses, but it's just, it hits close to home for a lot of people. But because there are actually people like this, there are black girls who identify as not so black. So it's not that far a character, and I think that's what pisses people off. Am I allowed to say that on TV? Anyway.
Well, it's said now, so.
Yeah, so that's what I think people can't get, is that it's a joke because it could be real.
Now, some people have said you've had an overnight success, but those who know your story know that's anything but.
Yeah.
I mean, you have studied both locally and abroad. You've studied in theatre. You've said you've done other characters as well. But Coconut Kelz is one that you just kept coming back to. Did it just feel that that entire journey was leading up to you finally just hitting your mark?
Yeah, I mean, I even did this character for about 2 years before this, so the overnight success thing. If overnight success is like 700 and something days, then sure. But yeah, I think it was always going to happen. I was going to write a book. It was in my sort of vision board.
On your vision board.
But it wasn't as a character. I didn't see this happening. But I was definitely like, yeah, I will be an author one day. I will be, you know, TV, blah, blah. So nothing that's happening is completely surprising because I've been working and training, like you said, towards it and visioning it and dreaming it. So Yeah, it's happening on time. I think I'm also mature enough. I'm 30 now.
So maybe it's time for
everything.
a sitcom then next, I
Maybe.
suppose, as well. But before we speak
Finally.
about that, we need to speak to Coconut Kelz, because you've come all this way. But before we do that, we need to just touch base with the fact that Coconut Kelz has just come back from a fabulous holiday in Italy, where
Prego.
she hit the beach and she posted this very interesting travel video.
How's it, guys? I'm going to give you a weather forecast here. We've got blue skies, beautiful day, amazing sea, and not a single What? What? Oh my unbelievable. This is Positano. This is Italy. Oh my Adam is gonna hate it here.
Now, straight from that holiday, with I hope that the tan wasn't too heavy, Kelz, because you know the European sun can be quite harsh on the skin of those who've grown up in Africa.
Yeah.
Have you recovered from that holiday?
I have, but you know the thing is, like my hair, you know, some people say the sun lightens hair. The Italian sun darkened my hair, so I'm not actually sure how to go about getting it back. I want to bleach it again, but it just strips so much nutrition and nutrients out of my hair. My skin is, you know, I look a bit Italian. It's coming back a bit, my complexion, but I do have a bleaching session after this, so I'm going to be back to normal by tomorrow. So,
didn't you want to try and stay in Europe? Because I mean, there's so much bad news that happens here all the time. Didn't you feel the need to maybe try and apply for asylum?
I wanted to, but then I saw many asylum seekers, if I can say that. I don't want to use, you know, the K word, but they were there in Italy. So it wasn't very pleasant anyway. It was basically like being in South Africa. It's what I left South Africa for, and then I get there and there's like Kenyans and Nigerians and more South Africans. It was just very unpleasant.
Now, your name is on a new book that's been brought out, and you say it's a handy tip for people who are struggling to make their way, especially moving up that social ladder in South Africa, and especially in places like Sandton and Bryanston and that kind of thing. If people are wondering why they should buy this book, what do you think is the reason why they should go and get it?
Well, I mean, Marcel, if people first meet you, remember you had a very strong coloured accent, and then you read the book, and now you speak so well. So if people want to speak better, if people want to have straighter hair, if people want to just live in Sandton and be assimilated into the community, this is the perfect book to give you tips, to lose that Soweto accent, to sort of just be on the cusp of all things Caucasian. Yeah.
Now speaking of all things Caucasian, I asked my team to try and get an interview with you, because I had one very important question I had to ask you. Because those of us who are trying to get into the world of caucasity, I think, did I say it correctly?
You did, but you have to be more nasal.
Caucasity.
There we go. Yeah, thanks, Marcel.
I find the biggest question is, how do I get that I want to see the manager look? Is it the hair?
Yeah.
Do I need to wear whiter foundation? Do I need to change the way I speak? How do I do it?
It's all encompassing, but if you go to my chapter on beauty tips specifically, I tell you how to make your lips thinner. First, you have to have thin lips. You can't talk to the manager with Jabulani lips, do you know what I mean? You have to have Bridget lips. So I teach you how to underline your lips, make them thinner, purse them. You always have to look like something smells in the room if you want to get that right. And then that's when you can speak to the manager. People will see it immediately in you. They'll actually push you towards the front of the queue to the managerial area.
And are you convinced that that means that you will get a better service in South Africa?
You definitely will. If you speak to the manager and they know that you're the type to speak to the manager, they always usher you to the front of the queue. It's just the way it goes. Trust me.
Now, I believe we need to end the interview now. You have a very, very busy schedule. Where are you off to next?
I'm just going to go onto the beach. I'm going to Cape Town, so I'm just going to relax a little bit more.
You think they need some help in Camps Bay, I suppose?
No, I don't think so anymore. Clifton, yes.
Oh,
Clifton,
okay.
I've signed a petition to get them off the beach. I don't want to say who, because I don't want to get like angry tweets from Black Twitter. But I've signed a petition to close the beach. Make it white again, you know, slechts blankes.
And send it to the right manager. I'm sure it'll be a success. Coconut Kelz, thank you so much for coming. It's been an absolute education.
By the book.
Coconut Kelz, a guide to surviving this hole, which is South Africa. We thank her for her very, very valuable time.